Science, March 26th. Again, I am outside enjoying a pretty day and praising God for the beautiful um, scenery that He has provided me. The green that I see as spring is coming. Um, and I'm studying about the environment too, so that's cool. Now, what we started talking about yesterday was stresses in the environment, and you learned about three main ones. You should have read about fire, flood, and drought. And you also read how even though these things can have negative impacts on the environment, so they damage or kill plants and animals, but our environment is set up in a way that these things are meant to happen and that nature knows what to do with them. Um, and it talked about some of the good things that these stresses can do for the environment. Today we're going to do a little bit of research. If you look in your book on page 208, you see there an exploration page, and it says stress alert. Okay. Have you ever heard a news report about an emergency situation? News reporters cover these events so that the public can be informed. So I want you to think about um, a natural disaster event that has occurred, including one of these stresses, and we're going to research that event. I have a few to get you started if you can't think of any, but if you want to do some searching and researching and finding something on your own, you're okay to use one of those also. I'm going to share this quote with you in just a minute, but some of my ideas were, it's called Camp Fire, and this was the fires recently in Paradise, California, and these were not that long ago. So they're even now trying to see the effects on the environment there. But it can tell you the numbers that you need for this. And you also need your activity manual, page 140. It's on the back of what you did yesterday. So if you have your study guide from yesterday, if you look on the back of it, that's page 140, and that's the one you need today. That looks like this, stress alert. Okay, so campfire is one idea. One that happened a while back, but it remains one of the most devastating floods, maybe natural disasters, but I think just floods in history. And it was the Galveston. I think I'm spelling that wrong. I think it's no. That's it. Galveston, Texas flood, and this was in 1900. So if you'd like to look up more of a historical event, that would be a really good one to look up. Another one that I was thinking about that is not that long ago, but was another flood, was the Hurricane Katrina in Louisiana. So those are three that came to mind for me. If you want to look up they don't have to be in the United States. If you want to look up ones that happen in other parts of the world and practice your geography today too, that would be a good thing to do. So you can pick one of these or you can pick your own. But I want you to pick a natural disaster, and you're going to fill out this page on it. You're going to get on the internet. I think most of you have access to do that, and see if you can find this information. What was the type or the name of the event? When was it? What's the location? What was the cause of it? Okay, why do they think this happened? Then it says size of the area affected. Sometimes it's a smaller area, sometimes it's a very large area that's affected. So what was affected? People involved, meaning how many? Duration of the event, how long did it last? And I think that's talking about, you can include two things there. You can include how long, like when Hurricane Katrina was flooding, there was a certain amount of time when it was flooding and then the flood stopped, but it still took a long time for them to clean up. So you can include both times, like it lasted for 12 hours, but then it didn't recede for however many days. Okay, there may be several numbers that you're looking for there. Dangerous moments. So different things that occurred inside that either storm or disaster. the effect on the surrounding ecosystem, and that's really what we're trying to look at in all of this. And other interesting facts about the event. What else did you find out? Maybe how did it affect the economy? That would be a good way to look at it also. How did it affect the economy? Um, I know in the Galveston flood, it affected the town in a way. They did rebuild, but was it the same? Okay, was it better? Was it worse? That's one thing to figure out there. Um, so let's go back to my quote. This was someone who was responding. This was about the Paradise, the campfires. It's called Campfire, the campfire in Paradise, California. And they were asking about the wildlife and how it was affecting the wildlife. And Lomelli is the person that was from the National Park Service, or the expert that was answering this. And he said, actually, the long-term recovery of the local wildlife is extremely good. The area is projected to see a healthier bird population in the next 2 to 5 years, while the population of squirrels, foxes, rabbits, raccoons, deer, bears, and more four-legged friends are expected to see a higher mortality rate this winter. So mortality means dying, death rate. But in the next 3 to 5 years will grow to even more than before. As difficult as it may be to see pictures of charred earth and burnt animals, we all must accept that these are very short-lived images, and that within a few months, nature will begin the process of renewal all over again. I thought that was really neat and encouraging to know that God does use these times to renew. Just like when in the middle of winter, sometimes it's hard to imagine that spring is ever going to come again, and then we go outside and there's green leaves on our trees. God does make all things new again. But I want to ask you a question. I want to see if you can figure it out. He says that the population of squirrels, foxes, rabbits, raccoons, and he lists all those animals, more of them may die this winter. Why? Can you figure that out? Think about, okay, there's been a fire. The trees have burned. All of the grass has been burned. What else? Why will more of them die in the winter? I think there's several reasons, right? Their food supply is lower. Some of those animals that depend on cover to protect them are not going to have cover, right? Some of them that need that their homes are gone and their food is gone. So more are going to die now. But then it says birds are going to increase. I wonder why. That's interesting too. Why would they see a healthier bird population? And I think it's because after you have a fire, it actually allows things to grow back. It gets rid of some of the things that might have been creating death and problems, and then allows brand new growth to come back. And I think, I'm not sure, possibly that's what attracts more birds. And then you will see an increase in the other animals. It's very interesting how everything is connected. And so that's what I want you to get out there and try to find, is some things like this that help you start thinking about how different things in nature are affecting the different elements involved in that environment. Okay, I want you to search today. I want you to fill out stress alert. There's no pages to read today in your book as far as information in the chapter. This is a research day. Happy researching. So below, before you stop though, in the comments below, I want you to put what you chose to research. So if you chose one of mine or if you found something different, let me know what you're researching.